All right. So the set, being the complicated, giant, enormous thing that it is, requires a lot of hands on deck. So we've got our set designer who is looking at how do we get everything on the stage that we need for the show. The set build is the complicated portion of solving all the problems to get it to look like a real room or a real finishes it off. Set decoration can include what color are those walls going to be. For a comedy, you probably don't want a dark, heavy color. You want something light and airy, which you wouldn't necessarily want for a mystery, for a very heavy drama. So the feel of the show, the set decoration requires research. If it's a period piece, what's appropriate to the period? What sort of look, what sort of colors, what sort of furniture? But it goes beyond thinking of interior decoration. For example, our children's shows typically do not have a room that we have to build. They typically have a giant space that needs to function in a great many ways. So the designer has to figure out how to make that function happen, but the decorator needs to make it look like all of the things we need it to look like. Does it need to look like a mountainside? Does it need to look like a forest? Does it need to look like a playground, which was Alice in Wonderland? The director wanted a playground feel, so we had a seesaw, we had the mushroom go round. The scaffolding was colored in order to make it fun and vibrant and exciting. We needed a wall for Humpty Dumpty, those sorts of things. So when the set decorator takes the reins or is on task, furniture is a great challenge, especially period furniture. And so again, the set decorator is one who's got to read that whole script and find out all the things that are involved. The set decorator is looking for the set pieces. So quick definitions: a hat that's hanging on a hook that nobody ever touches is a set piece. A hat hanging on a hook that is taken off and walked around with is a prop. A hat taken off that hook and put on a person's head is a costume. So the set pieces are on the set decorator. The recent shows that we've done, all of the paintings on the walls are set pieces. All of the design for the walls, the stripes, for example, and the bright, bright colors that we had in Ladies' Man, that is part of set decoration. How do we make it look like a farce? How do we make it look like a French farce? What sort of design would speak to that? So we had some furniture that we were able to paint white and make it look like a French style of furniture, French look. When we did Lord Arthur Saville's Crime, we were in England, and it's an English manor home. We needed to make it look quite rich. So we added some details that would make that happen. Designs on the door is set decoration. When we paint, put up and paint a back wall for a children's show to create an outdoor scene or a larger scene, all of that set decoration has to be researched, designed, figured out, and set decorator takes the reins on that. Now, the set designer and the set decorator, in our case, are frequently the same person because of all the ways that those things interact and overlap. But it doesn't have to be. Set designer and set decorator working hand in glove can create something quite much more so than one person can really manage on any given day. And the fact that we have all of our volunteers to help with the pre-paint, pre-build, prepare, as it were, gets us to the finish line. So when you're reading a script as a set decorator, you need to know what's the style of the show. Is it cluttered? Is it open and simplified? Is it a period piece? And what's the period? What's appropriate for the period? All of those things. Highlights. So I wrote down some set decoration highlights from our Kirk Players years. For Harvey, the director's vision was to have the show be in black and white, except for characters who had seen Harvey. So we did everything in black and white. We had furniture pieces that had to be reupholstered, covered just for the moment in black and white fabric instead of in bright greens and reds and so forth. We painted some furniture that we had black or white to fit in with that style. The walls were in shades of gray. Black and white doesn't necessarily mean just black or white. It also means shades of gray. I talked about Lord Saville's Crime and Ladies' Man, both comedies with bright colors, and the Manor House. When we did Postmortem, there was a very important set piece, which was the painting that came to life. So part special effects, part set piece. It had to be painted. It had to look like one of the characters. It had to look appropriate to the set and to the design of the whole show. And it had to be translucent so that we could project the movement onto it. So that's a set piece that needed to be created. It didn't necessarily need to be designed by the set designer. It had to be created by the set decorator. In that case, the same person. We've done, again, the children's shows. When we did Peter Pan, we had the platforms at a slight angle, but we wanted to and bring on a piece that could create the ship, Hook's ship, and all of the pieces that would be there, all of that rope and the mast that everybody was tied to, and that ship piece are part of the set decoration. So I've seen a question. What do you do for the door designs? That takes research, but sometimes the director may not even know. I'm assuming by door designs you mean style. We have 6-panel doors all over the place, but for example, for both Ladies' Man and for Lord Arthur, I made a template that we could use to create the look of a paneled door without having to carve the door. It's done with paint. I looked up some options for that, and we thankfully live in the age of the internet, so we do not have to have a massive library full of books. But I had for many years been a subscriber to Architectural Digest, so I could find stuff like that. And all of those things, all of those resources, Google images of the play itself to see how other people have done it. We are a community theater, we're allowed to borrow. And to also look up, period French, period English, period American styles. The director's vision is the key to all of those parts. The set decoration in particular, the director is going to have a vision in their mind. They've been reading that script over and over and over, and they've started to build pictures of it in their mind. The designer and decorator are going to help flesh out that picture and provide some of that research. It's not the director's job to research what everything looks like. Many will do so because they have this picture in their mind. They want to make sure they can communicate. But it's not necessarily that task falling to them. The designer and the decorator are going to be the people who need to bring some of that back again. Okay, I hear your vision. Here's an image for you to make sure we're on the same page. And then, of course, it has to be translated into something we can actually build. How will that fit in our 4-foot by 8-foot flats and our 12-foot high walls and flat doors, paneled doors, whatever we have on hand. Other questions about decoration? Decoration's fun and it takes a lot of time. Decoration's the detail that we need crew for on Sunday, on the build. We frequently continue that decoration portion of the process throughout the week, through Tech Week. Generally speaking, for my own part, I will plan certain things. This can wait till Wednesday. This one's got to be done now because it's got to be used. This one's got to be done on Tuesday because by Wednesday I got to be working on this other thing, and so forth. Try to map out all the details so they can get accomplished, but also so that I'm not in the way, me or any other set decorators, not in the way of the actors trying to get the feel on the stage during tech week. They've only got 5 rehearsals max to get used to everything that's happening on the stage, the space they're playing in, where everything's at, and how things are functioning. And we don't want to be impeding the overall performance by getting in that way. So set decorator is not only on stage, but on the set walls, all over the walls.
I'm kind of trying to figure out between set props and set decorator.
Sure. Props and set decoration will work together quite a lot. The set decoration will include things that get moved, and the two need to work together so that the style and the look jive. So yes, there's a picture that's going to be referred to, a book that's going to get picked up and moved, glasses and bottles and bits and pieces that are moving around the stage. The designer has to make sure there's a place to put them all. The decorator has to work with the props master or mistress to make sure that the style is consistent. And props often knows of objects that will work on the set to dress the set beyond just painting the walls and that sort of thing. Yes, curtains, walls, bits and bobs all over the place, filling the gaps. We suffer from large open spaces from time to time. So 8 feet by 12 feet and nothing on it is a big hunkin' blank wall, and boring as all heck. So anything we can do to make sure it's not boring as all heck is important. And a bookcase that's empty is no good. That bookcase got to get filled. There may be one prop that comes out of that bookcase, but the whole bookcase needs to be filled appropriately for the show. Absolutely. All of that is part of set decoration. And again, props and set decoration will work together quite a lot to make sure that everything's in the right place, that everything has a place. Other questions? Oh, come on, I'm not that much of a genius. Okay, that is 3 parts of the set then. We've got set design, set build, and set decoration. My pleasure.